man and up. Yep, you're right.
Man and up.
Bennett, top of the key. Reinhold, left wing. Reinhold looking for Perez down low, but gives to Holland, top of the key. Straightaway threes off the mark, no good. Rebound tipped around. Peru comes out of there with it. Coast to coast goes Lester. His layup's no good. Reinhold with a rebound. Jordan rips and runs for the Zebras. 30 seconds gone. No score here at Peru High School. Lee on the left wing for the Zebras. He works against Murphy. Holland again. Top of the key three is off the mark. No good. And we're going to have a push-off down low on Lee. That'll go back to Peru. Still no score here at Peru High School. This is our last regular season game here on WROI. Even though the guys have a couple of more left, they have the Academy tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And Tuesday night they're in the regular season on the road at North Judson. And don't forget the draw, I believe, coming up at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, 3:30, somewhere in that vicinity.
I think it's 3:30. Zebras coming out in a 2-3 zone.
Three for Peru is no good, but there's an offensive rebound by Lester. Lester down low to Gardner, throws up a tough shot and it goes in. Peru strikes first with a minute gone in the basketball game, 2-0. And Lee held in the left wing. Now to Reinhold, top of the key. Man-to-man defense for the Tigers. Left side to Holland. He'll take another three left side. It's good, and Rochester up 3-2.
Third look at a three for Alex. Yeah. Finally gets that one to go down. He was able to get his feet set. Good screen to get him open as well.
Murphy top of the key against, like Tony said, the Rochester's 2-3 zone. Murphy backs it out to the center circle. Resets for the Tigers. Left side, high left side to Lester. Back to Murphy, top of the key. Into Peyton Gardner. Kicks it outside to Hound. Now to Murphy, drives it left. Throws up a shot over Bennett, no good. Gavin grabs the board, clears the Holland. Rochester runs up 3-2 with a minute, I think that's 6:15 to play in the first quarter. Good heavens. It has been a long night. What do we see, 40 fouls in the first game?
If you took the over in JV fouls at 40, you won because there were 42 fouls called.
Ben Perez got a nice entry pass from Reinhold, and he put it in for two, and the Zebras up by 3.
28 of those fouls in the JV game were called in the first half. We thought we might be having breakfast with the Zebra varsity the way that game was going.
Murphy drives the baseline, pull up 15-footer, rattles in. And it's 5-4.
You know, Peru's been a good three-point shooting team, but they're attacking this zone off the dribble. They're moving the basketball, and they're not settling for jumpers. They're attacking off of a couple of dribbles and getting in the post feeds, and they're really attacking the inside of that zone.
Lob pass inside of Perez. He puts it in for two more. Ben Perez has 4 of the 7. And it's 7-4, and they're doing decisively. Stays. They're going to get it, catch it, and pass. That's what the Tigers are doing right now, and they're getting inside that 2-3 zone. You're right, and Alec Holland just picked up a cheap blocking foul right in front of Coach Reinhold.
Yeah, Alex going to have to stay out of foul trouble. That's for sure.
They all are.
Yeah, they all are. But especially in that one, you know, Alex picks up his first, probably a cheap one, but he's got to be really smart with his fouls now. Try to get to halftime, only committing that one foul. And the Zebras need him on the floor with his offense and his outside shooting ability.
Jeremiah Johnson, a 5'10 sophomore, checks into the game for the Tigers. Murphy on the right wing, back to Johnson, top of the key. Crossover dribble out to Murphy. Murphy goes to the left wing to Gardner. Gardner holds, now back to Murphy in the center circle. Tyler Murphy, like a basketball, looks back, gets instructions to Coach Metcalf, back to the way in the center circle. High on the left side now to Lester. Lester holds against the 2-3 zone around the top. On the right wing to Murphy. Murphy fakes right, goes back to the left. Now goes to the right corner to Lester. Out to Murphy. His three is no good. And the rebound to Rochester's Ben Perez. Now to Reinhold. Rochester runs up 7-4. Lee on the left wing. Now to Reinhold. Long three on the wing is no good. Rebound tipped around. Ball loose. Going to be tipped out of bounds by Peru. It should stay with Rochester, and it will. 4.5 to play first quarter.
Good hustle by Bennett. Nothing new there. The guy fights for every loose ball there is on the floor, and Zebras will maintain possession on the sideline. I remember watching Johnson play last year for Peru on the JV. Great raw athlete, you know, strong kid. Just has to learn the nuances of the game, according to Coach Metcalf. But as athletic as any kid the Rochester's probably played all year.
Holland another three, this time from the left wing. And the Zebras are up by 6 at 10-4. Coach Metcalf has already lost his jacket.
Well, I'm sure Alec Holland shooting threes is at the top of the scouting report. And as a coach, when you let the one guy beat you from three that's not supposed to beat you, he's attempted 5 threes already, and they've all been good looks, but only 2 have gone down. I'm sure Coach Metcalf's very frustrated at this point.
So Peru the basketball going to our right. Lester holds on the right wing, now in the right corner to Gardner. Gardner one dribble over the top of the defense to Murphy. He drives inside the 2-3 zone. The ball tipped around outside to the shooter Gardner, no good, and the rebound to Bennett. And Bennett clears to Holland. Rochester runs up by 6, 3:50 to play in the first quarter. Holland then throws it out of bounds. I'm not sure if he thought that was the Zebra standing on the sideline. In all seriousness, the cheerleaders are kind of dressed like our guys. In all black, and there is some gold in it. So maybe out of the corner of his eye, he saw that and thought it was one of Rochester Zebra teammates.
Next time we just got to check, make sure they're not having a pom-pom in their hand. That's probably the good giveaway.
Yeah, I would call that a dead giveaway, yes. Long three for the Tigers, left wing's no good. Nice block out by Lee. He grabs the board and gives to Reinhold. Rochester pushes, going to our left, up 10-4. Bennett on the right wing. Top of the key to Holland. Holland to the basketball. Works on the right side, now to Perez. Then Perez outside the three-point line, feeds down low to Bennett. Gavin Bennett's jumper in the lane is no good. Fights for the rebound, gets it back, gives to Reinhold. Left wing three on the way is no good. And the rebound tipped around again. Now we're going to have a foul down low. I believe that's going to be on Howe. We'll wait and see.
Zebras, I'll tell you, the post guys underneath, Gavin Bennett and Ben Perez, are doing a really good job. They're posting strong. They're being active. Wilson Lee's getting in there, getting some rebounds. Inside, the Zebras doing a really good job.
Really active, and then the inbounds pass almost thrown away. Lee hauls down a loose ball. Long three for Holland. It's good again. That's about 10 feet. Literally 10 feet behind the three-point line. He got it to go. Rochester up by 9 at 13-4.
It's always a good start when 5 minutes into the game, Alec Allen has 9 points.
And that one wasn't even, he was closer to the volleyball line than he was to the basket. Howe high on the left side. Dribbles inside the three-point line. Now in the paint. Ball deflected and taken away by Lee, who hands off to Reinhold. 2:40 to play in the first quarter. Rochester by 9. Jordan Reinhold, middle of the floor. Against Johnson, gives to Holland. Drives the left baseline. Foul on the shot. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And I believe Howe just picked up foul number 2.
Yes, he did. And that was a no-doubter. He just tomahawked Alec. Nice job by Alec. After hitting 3 threes, they guarded him a little tighter on the catch. A little head and shoulder fake. Took a couple dribbles, went up to that baseline 15-footer, and got fouled. And Alex can go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Alec Holland with a freebie goes to double digits. First one is good for the senior. He's got 10.
He's got 10, and Ben Perez has 4.
Lester back into the game. Also into the game for the first time is Gavin Geisen, a 6-foot sophomore for the Tigers. Brett Abbott will look to check in if Alec hits this next one. 14-4 Rochester, 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Alec's second one's good again. He's got 11, and he'll come out.
You know, the keys to Rochester when they played well, they're doing tonight. Offensively, they're moving the ball. Everybody's active. Everybody's moving, taking good shots. And defensively, whether they're playing man or zone, tonight they're doing a good job of limiting Peru's second shot.
Yep.
Peru's taking some quick shots, but the Zebras, early on, they gave up an offensive rebound putback. But other than that, they've really taken care of the defensive board.
Johnson gets a great screen on the top and then pulls up from the left elbow and drains it. Quickly down the floor, the Zebras. Perez shot no good, gets his own rebound to put back on the way, partially blocked. Lee with the rebound. Kicks it out to Reinhold. 3 straight away for the Zebras. The way is good. Rochester up 18-6 with 2 to play in the first quarter.
Nice job. Offensive rebound takes care of that. Of course, you'd like to see Ben use the backboard on the first shot. It wouldn't have got to that, but he and Wilson kept it alive, and way to go, Jordan Reinhold. Be ready to step up and knock down that 3.
And speaking of a quick shot, Murphy takes one there. Ben Perez grabs another board. Abbott, the free throw line, jump pass to Ben Perez. He double dribbles, no call. He'll rise up. He puts the shot up, no good. Abbott with the rebound. Ball loose on the floor. He's pulled to the floor. Rochester pulls up and grabs the loose ball, and then Brett Abbott will take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. Minute 36 to play in the first quarter. Rochester by 12 right now, 18-6. And like you just said, great passing, great crashing the board. Yep. Second and third opportunities offensively, and of course, lights out shooting right now from behind the arc.
Really a complete game. 1 turnover is all they've got to this point in the quarter as well. So everything they need to do well, maybe the best quarter to this point that the Zebras have played all year. Everything they need to do well, they're doing tonight.
Abbott picks up the dribble after a couple of times. Now to Lee. Wilson Lee against Murphy. Drives into the right wing against a double team out to Reinhold. Jordan, quick three over Prescott is no good. Short. Bennett with a rebound. His putback is good.
As we said before, man among boys, if you don't have two bodies on Kevin Bennett, shame on you, because he's going to be relentless on the offensive and defensive glass.
65 seconds to play first quarter. Rochester by 14. Murphy in the right corner. Now to Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson back to Murphy against the 2-3 zone of the Rochester Zebras to Johnson, top of the key. Murphy thought about a three, passes it up. Now to Johnson. Now left side to Lester. Back to Johnson, top of the key. Lob pass to Geist. Geist and his jumper from the elbow is no good. Bennett with another board. Now to Reinhold. 40 seconds to play first quarter. Rochester up 20-6. Reinhold backs it out to the left wing. Directs traffic. Now to Lee. 5 feet behind the arc. Here comes a triple team. Just about sits on the end line. And now we're going to have a foul on Geisen, which bailed out Rochester from committing a turnover. And it'll stay with Rochester on the near sideline with 28.2 to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, Peru not about to let Rochester run the timeout at the end of the quarter. But what that does do, it allows Alec Cowan to sub in here. Zebra's still going to try to probably get the last shot.
Yeah.
But Peru, if that's any indication, last possession, they jumped into their trap because they don't want to let Rochester hold the ball. They're trying to get a turnover, get some momentum as we head into the second quarter.
Reinhold across the timeline against Johnson with 23. Now to Holland. And we're going to have a legal screen on Abbott. And we go back to Peru with 23 seconds to play in the first quarter. Again, Rochester up 20-6.
Yep, fouls on Brett. His first, team's third. Both teams have 3 fouls here thus far in the first quarter.
Jeremiah Johnson will walk us through the center circle. He'll cross the timeline with 18. Rochester still in that 2-3 zone. Works to the left wing. Quick 18-footers off the back of the rim. No good. Abbott with the rebound with 12. Brett Abbott pushes up the floor with 9. Switches directions. You got to get it across to Bennett with 5. Gavin jump pass to the baseline to Perez. Out to Abbott. 3 at the buzzer on the way is short. After 1, Rochester leads 20-6. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Peru High School would like to recognize our sectional champion and conference champion, Peru Tiger tennis team. So congratulations to our Hall of Fame coach, Mike Singh, standing down there at the end, and our Peru Tiger tennis program. Once again, our sectional champion and conference champion, Peru Tiger tennis team. Also, team members Braden Bates and Lucas Eckerly have been named to the Indiana High School Tennis Coaches Academic All-State Honorable Mention Team for 2015. So congratulations, Braden and Lucas, on your accomplishments. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, our sectional champion and conference champion, Peru Tiger tennis team.
Going to the second quarter here at Peru High School. Thanks to Val Cesteris, the sports editor of the Rochester Sentinel. After 1, Southwood might have been a buzz upset after the holiday tournament when Northfield beat them. They're up 16-2 after 1. Also, LaVille leads Caston at halftime, 37-19. And Orr.
Yes, Aaron Orr, great accomplishment to make it down to state, but it was a short run for him. He was pinned early on.
43 seconds.
Yeah, but, you know, he's a nationally ranked. The kid he lost to is going to go to Penn State to wrestle. So no shame in there. Great career, great season by Aaron Orr.
Gardner starts the second quarter with a 3 for Peru and cuts the lead to 11. Yeah, Val was just telling me, what did you say, 130, 123, 132? That 132 weight class has a kid, and then Rochester in the backcourt almost loses it. Got to get it across. Holland gets it across to Bennett. Bennett over the top of the defense to Reinhold. Jordan looks at a 3 in the baseline, gives to Lee out to Holland. Holland around the defense to Reinhold. Drives it right side inside the arc, now to Lee. Lee around the defense as Peru stays turned up the pressure just a bit.
Yeah, you can tell Coach Metcalf not happy with that performance, and one way to jumpstart your team if you don't think they're really dialed in is to get into your presses and traps, and he kind of lit into them at the end of the quarter, and they have a little bit more pep in their step and coming after the Zebras in a trap. Zebras going to have to handle that ball as best they can, because Peru's going to dial up the pressure here, at least in the half court.
To finish that statement, both those kids, the kid going to Penn State, and there's another young man in the 132 class going to Nebraska on a full ride, is 180-0 in his high school career. And Val just said that the chances of them getting the championship round tomorrow is highly likely. Won't that be fun to watch?
Yeah. When you get there, when you get down there, there's no weak opponents. But yeah, that'd be a truly special one. And we like to mention Dan Clark too. He probably had a chance to make it down there, but had to pull out because of injury. Again, another Rochester injured athlete.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Coach Guard and the wrestlers. And also wanted to send a little birthday shout out to Abby Bach. Abby Bach celebrating a birthday under the weather. Coach Bach's not here tonight. He'd be really proud of these guys for their efforts so far, but Abby's under the weather, so happy birthday, Abby Bach.
Pretty girl. Thank goodness she looks like Jamie.
Absolutely.
Abbott drives the left baseline, caught by the double team, out to Reinhold. Jordan travels on the drive, and they'll go back.
And that's one of those things, you're dealing against the pressure. The Peru didn't pressure them that time, but then you start to kind of see ghosts. Am I going to get pressed, or am I going to get trapped? Am I not? They didn't trap that time, and they sped Jordan up enough, thinking that there might be a trap. He just kind of dragged his pivot foot a little bit. But they're okay. Zebras have an 11-point lead. They just got to kind of settle down and make some adjustments. They're back in the 2-3 zone, doing a really good job on defense and the boards, and got to keep that part up.
Yeah, last thing you want to do here is panic. I mean, you do have an 11-point lead after all.
Yep.
Gardner on the wing, top to Murphy. Left elbow out to Johnson. 3 left wing, and before he shoots, he should have trapped. Before the shot, we're going to have a foul down low. Is that going to be on Bennett on the clear out? I thought he traveled on the wing.
Yeah. We said earlier, those first couple possessions, Peru was doing a really good job of passing the ball going inside. They've kind of stopped. I don't know if it's the reaction of the Rochester Zebras defense, but they've been a little bit more perimeter-oriented, just passing it around and taking long jumpers. Gavin's going to pick up that foul. It's his first, team's fourth.
Murphy, wide open 3 at the top. No good. Ball tipped around. Lester comes out of there with it. His shot put back is good, and a foul. Brett Abbott's going to pick up a foul, and that's going to send Jonah Lester, the 6'2 junior, to the line to shoot 1 for the Tigers.
Unfortunately there, I think Ben and Gavin were both going after the ball and knocked the ball away from each other, and the ball fell into Lester's hands. Brett was on the other side and bumped him as he went up for the and one.
So the free throw is good by Lester. And Peru inside double digit here. Only down now by 8. Holland gets it across to Bennett. Gavin around the double team. Goes hard to the basket. Pull-up jumper on the way is no good. A lot of contact, no foul. And the rebound to the Tigers.
That's a good move. Gavin's got to keep attacking the board, or keep attacking the post like he has been.
Murphy for 3 for the Peru Tigers. Short again. And Abbott the rebound. Brett rips and runs for the Zebras. Across the timeline right. Hesitates. Now accelerates. Goes to the basket. Shot blocked. And the rebound to Prescott. Gives off to Lester. Lester on the right wing. Hesitates. Hands off to Johnson on the right side. 5:45 to play in the first half. Rochester up 20-12 here at Peru High School. Rochester still in that 2-3 zone. Jeremiah Johnson. Right side to Murphy. Back to Johnson, top of the key. Owes the defense to Gardner. To Johnson. Left-handed 3 is off the back of the iron. No good. Gavin Bennett skies to the board and grabs it. And gives to Holland. Alex then fouled on the reach-in by Murphy. He'll be out of bounds to the JV game. They were already shooting double bonus by this point.
Yeah, at this point, there's 9 fouls called in this game. Like you said, there are 28 fouls called in the first half of the JV game. Thank God that's not going on.
Peru won that one, by the way, 63-45. Zach Deshawn and Jacob Knight each with 13 for the Zebras in that contest. Tony Stasiak, I'm David Musselman. 5:10 to play in the first half. Rochester up by 8. Biggest lead has been 14 late in the first quarter. Lee against a double team. Outside to Holland. Another long 3 for the Zebras is no good. Way off the mark. Didn't even hit iron that time. And the rebound to Murphy. Murphy top of the key. Around the defense to Gardner. Now to Lester. For 3 is good again. This time on the left baseline. And the lead is down to 5.
Lester's got 6 this quarter.
Peru in a man-to-man defense and extends out all the way.
Yep, they're going to do a little man-to-man trap. They're just rotating, kind of a run and jump, man-to-man look, and then on that first pass, they're going to trap it on the side and try to speed Rochester up.
So Reinhold, right before the three-point attempt, he was yelling at the top of his lungs, like from here, which is about, 50 feet away from him. I can see his face turning red. He was yelling so loud. But he uses the timeout. It's a 60. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. Back at Peru High School, a couple of other scores from Val. Right now, Winamac leads Pioneer at halftime, 34-31. Winamac clinches the Hoosier North with a win. And Fort Wayne Canterbury leads the Academy, 24-10. That shot no good by the Zebras. And the rebound to Johnson, to Gardner. Finger rolls in front of the rim is good. And it's 20-17.
Peru's on an 11-0 run this quarter. We're halfway through the second quarter. Zebras yet to score.
Rochester loses the basketball. Peru knocks it out of bounds. And it'll stay in the corner as Peru right now wants Gavin Bennett to get the basketball in the corner.
Well, yeah, anytime Gavin catches the ball that far away from the basket, I think any team's going to want that versus him catching it on the block. But the other thing they're trying to do is get him on the perimeter and force him to make quick decisions. That's one of the Achilles heel of Rochester, has been handling pressure and traps. And Peru's found something, and they're rolling with it here, trying to speed the Zebras up and force them into quick, hurried passes and tough shots.
Holland for three, and the right side is no good. And the rebound by Deshaun, who's in the basketball game for the first time. Baseline to Perez, out to Deshaun, corner to Holland. Left elbow to Bennett, out of Deshaun, top of the key to Reinhold. Jordan stands between the rings of the volleyball line. Left side to Deshaun, bounce pass to Reinhold. Jordan, leaner in the lane, is good as it rolls over the front of the rim. And Rochester's first point of the quarter comes at the 3:25 mark of the second period. And now they're back up by 5 at 22-17.
Much better ball movement, patience, discipline on that possession by the Zebras, resulting in a good shot and a score.
Johnson has his pass deflected out of bounds. Not quite sure why he passed that inside the back volleyball line. He was that far into the paint. He probably just should have rose up and shot it. So he'll trigger it in baseline right. Lob pass into Gardner. Down the center circle to Murphy. Tony Stasiak, I'm David Musselman. 3 minutes to play. First half, Rochester up 22-17. Murphy against the 2-3 zone. Hands off to Johnson. Johnson left elbow in the corner. Three on the way. Wow. This one is by Gardner. And that one comes from the left baseline. And Rochester's lead now down to 2.
Gardner now has 10.
They can shoot. The two big guys can put it and shoot. Perez, left elbow. His pass is taken away by Murphy. Nice dribbling by Murphy. He'll go to the basket. Layup is good. We're tied at 22.
Yep, pressure has really gotten to the Zebras, and it's really jump-started Peru's offense and defense. You've got to make some adjustments if they can. Try to move the ball, keep your head up, get some cutters to the open spaces. The middle should be open. Got to be strong with the basketball, step to meet your pass, use a good bounce pass or quick skip pass.
And I believe Cordell Prescott just whistled on the reach-in foul. He'll be out of bounds to Rochester right in front of the cheerleaders.
Prescott's first, team's fifth. Both teams have 5 fouls.
Back into the game is Geisen, and coming out for a well-deserved break is Gardner. Lob pass to Deshaun, left corner. Jack Deshaun against the double team, gives to a cutting Holland. Holland's lead off the glass is good.
That's a great sign. They're obviously overplaying Alec on a three-point line. He cut to the basket. Good use of the bounce pass. Finds him open for a layup.
Rochester back by 2 at 24-22. Murphy stands in the center circle. Rochester staying in that 2-3 zone. Murphy jump pass out to Howe. Saves him going out of bounds. Nice hands by Howe on the left wing. Now to Johnson. Johnson drives the left hard. Gets inside the paint. Gets it outside to Murphy. Murphy in the paint. His leaner on the way is off the mark. No good. Bennett another board. Gavin clears to Reinhold. 100 seconds to play first half. Rochester up 24-22. Reinhold through the center circle. He'll work against Johnson. Left side of Perez. Then Perez can't dribble, I believe. He's just going to get rid of it, and then has it stripped, and then is called for a foul.
Probably a smart foul. I don't think he was going to catch a young man. That's only Ben's first, team 6.
Quick first half. Neither team shot many free throws. Lee and Abbott in. Holland and Ben Perez will come out. 90 seconds to go. Second quarter. Rochester up 24-22. Geisen gets it in to Murphy, and he'll run the point for the Tigers against Rochester's 2-3 zone. Murphy stands in the center circle. Works to Johnson. Back to Murphy. Fakes left. Back to Johnson on the right wing. Left side to Howe. Howe goes to the baseline, and he's going to run over the Zebra defender. Who was that?
Brett Abbott. Yep, Brett Abbott playing the middle of the 2-3 zone. Anticipated the drive, got in good position, drew the charge. He's going to be on Howe, one of the starting guards for Peru, who's actually been in charge of chasing Alec Holland most of the second quarter. Just picked up his 3rd foul of the half, so he's going to get an extended rest.
So Southwood led Northfield after 1 at 16-2. They now lead Northfield at halftime, 28-12. Scoring came to a halt. Rochester with it going to our left. Abbott on the right wing. Working against Lester. One dribble, top of the key to Lee. Lee around the defense, now to Abbott. Brett to Deshawn. 3, right wing is good. Zach Deshawn with his first 3 of the varsity game. Rochester back up by 5 at 27-22.
That's what they need Zach Deshawn to do at the varsity here, is just come in and knock down shots, play good defense.
Bounce pass to Geisen, to Murphy. Murphy top of the key, right side of Johnson. 37 seconds to Geisen. And he travels.
Yep.
I don't get it, Faith. 10 foot away from the basket. Rise up, young man.
Yeah, it's almost like the point guards from the top of Peru are supposed to play drive and kick, where the Zebras, you know, if there's nobody there, you think you can go ahead and finish, but they're just trying to continue to kick out, which is good for the Zebras because they're either turning the ball over or forcing in tough shots. 25
seconds. Brett Abbott can't save that tough pass by Reinhold from going out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Tigers with 23.5 to play in the first half. The Zebras by 5. And coming into the game, back into the game is Gardner. Geisen will come out.
You know, Zebras have played obviously a better first quarter than second quarter, but psychologically, and there's only 23.5 seconds, but you got a 4-point lead. Don't have a meltdown. I think it's really important psychologically to take a lead after playing this well. Take a lead into halftime. I think that'd be a big confidence boost for these Zebras.
18 seconds. Murphy dribbles in the center circle with 13. Murphy continues to dribble in the center circle with 10. Now drives it to the left side of the floor with 5. Out to Johnson with 4. Johnson with 3. Back to Murphy. 3 at the buzzer from long way away is no good. And at halftime, Rochester leads 27-22. Halftime show coming up next on 92.1 WROI. A couple of Zebras going to the finals of the Warsaw Sectional.
I think there's more than a couple. I think I saw last night. I think we have 8. Yeah, 8, a couple different relays, and the usual suspects. Eli Pugh has a chance to win outright and probably set some more school records tomorrow. Zebra swim team, both boys and girls, another outstanding season too.
Reinhold goes to the basket. Layup is good. Rochester again with that.
7.
Looking right in the face of that trap.
Yeah.
Beat it.
Attack it under control. That's the best way. Don't get back on your heels. Keep your head up. Have some poise. Make the right pass and attack that pressure.
Gardner for 3. No good. And Jordan Reinhold runs down the loose ball board.
Rebounding has been huge in the first half, and it'll continue to be. If Peru's going to take quick outside shots, limit them to 1 shot, and come down and score on the other end.
My question to you, Stays, is can you remember Peru getting an offensive rebound?
Early.
I'm sure they have.
They had one early.
Many. Holland for 3, no good, but we're going to have an offensive foul down low. Is that going to be on Bennett? I believe it is.
So
push off.
I think there's a lot of physicality going on underneath between those guys, and unfortunately, I think the Peru player, 45, Prescott, had the first bump, and as usually happens, the referee saw Gavin on the retaliation. His second, team's first.
I saw that young man in like a compression shirt by Under Armour. Yowza.
Yeah.
He's put together for sure. Of course, his dad is a strength coach here at Peru. You'd think he would be. Gardner around the defense. To Johnson. Johnson left corner. Back to Gardner. 3. Right baseline is good. That kid's got a good-looking shot. Bailey Gardner, 6'4" junior.
Yeah, Gardner broke 13 now.
29-25. Bennett over the top of the defense to Lee. Lee dribbles to the timeline around the defense. Has attacked it, picked off by Johnson. No look pass to Murphy. Leaner is good. 29-27. Rochester lead down to 2. And here comes that pressure by the Peru Tigers.
They're sending 2 guys at the ball handler, and then they're just overplaying the next closest guys. The Zebras have to look beyond the next guy that's closest to them and get some more people flashing to the ball, not just one guy, because Peru's sending the extra help at the one guy. They've got to look beyond him and try to get help otherwise.
Holland misses a 3, but right there is Gavin Bennett for the offensive rebound and putback. And the Zebras back by 4, 31-27. 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. And Jim Metcalf says, hey, that's good defense, but we got to put a butt on 32. We can't let him, strongest man on the floor, get a rebound.
That's one of the things when you're trapping and you're rotating. Sometimes you can't find all the guys you're supposed to block out because you're worried about trapping so much.
Johnson for 3, top of the key in rhythm, no good. Prescott's putback on the way is no good. And Bennett another board. Stays, you and I could have put that layup in down low. That's how wide open Gavin Bennett was. And Val. Yeah. Now that's saying something. If Val can put it in, Peru forces the turnover, and we're going to have a foul on the shot, and that's going to send Lester to the line to shoot 2.
And that's a big foul. That's on Gavin Bennett. That's his 3rd. That's not one. He reacted to take a charge. You're never going to get a charge when you're reacting to the dribbler. He tried to slide under him too late. Gavin's got to either think about that or, get up, be upright, and contest the shot, but don't try to take a charge in that regard. Because now he's got 3 fouls. He's probably coming out. Abbott's ready to check in, which is unfortunate because he's done such a great job on the boards and scoring a little bit. That's just not an even trade for the Zebras when you take out Gavin and bring in Brett. They're just 2 different types of players.
Yeah. Now Ben Perez, who's still in the basketball game, will basically be the lone post unless Jordan goes down there.
This is a big time for the Zebras here. Your big man is on the bench. You've done a good job rebounding. Is somebody else going to be able to pick up the slack?
Peru only hits 1 of 2. Full court press by the Tigers, and now we have a 5-second count. Abbott couldn't get it in. Rochester turns it over.
That's what I thought. They've been half court, and now they jumped into that full court. Zebras slow to react to that full court press.
5:20 to play, third quarter. Rochester up by 3 at 31-28. Johnson gets it inbounds. Gardner has it. He'll fire a 3 straight away. It's good again. And we're tied at 31. Here comes
Gardner's 4-3. He's got 17. Zebras going to have to get out and guard him much tighter than they are currently.
Abbott, he's across the timeline. Abbott finally does. That had to be about 9.5. Abbott against the 2-3 zone. High on the left side to Holland. Holland drives it right hard, pushes off. We're going to have a charge on Alec Holland.
Alex second, team's 3rd.
LaVille leads Caston after 3, 55-28. And an earlier score, Canterbury leads Culver Academy 24-10. Of course, that's Rochester's opponent tomorrow night, Culver Academy at Rochester High School. Gardner, Murphy, left baseline 3 is no good. Offensive rebound to Johnson. Man, he is fast. Johnson around the defense, in the paint, goes to the basket, throws up a shot, no good. Lee with the rebound. Now to Reinhold. Rochester runs. We're tied at 31 with 4.5 to play in the third quarter. Reinhold, no look pass to Ben Perez. His layup is good. Nice job by Jordan Reinhold. Good finish by Ben Perez.
Yeah, good use of the bounce pass. And nice job by Ben to anticipate it and go strong and use the glass.
Yes. Lester. Johnson on the right wing. Back to Lester on the left wing. Baseline. Ball tipped away. Stolen by Ben Perez. It gives to Holland. Alec quickly up the floor. Works right side to Reinhold. Back to Holland, top of the key. Over the top to Abbott. Brett, the baseline. Leaner on the way off the glass. No good. And the rebound to Peru. And Brett Abbott's just going to pick up a foul. And it's going to be out of bounds to Peru underneath the Rochester basket going to our left.
Maybe a frustration foul there by Brett. But unfortunately, it's going to be his 3rd. Team's 4th.
He'll stay on the floor for now, the way it looks. Back in the game for Peru is Dyson and also Howe. Tony Stasiak, I'm David Musselman.
Zebras going basically 4-guard lineup. Jacob Nye comes in to replace Wilson Lee. So you've got 4 guards and then Ben Perez. See if they can't handle that pressure a little bit better.
Dyson Jumper in the lane, no good. Ben Perez affected that shot, but Peru gets the offensive rebound. Geisen to Howe. Howe throws it right to Reinhold, turns it over. Rochester runs to our right. Rochester by 2 at 33-31 on the road. With 3:25 to play in the third. Peru still in that man-to-man defense. Nye, who had 13 in the JV game, feeds to Abbott down low. Back to Nye on the right wing. Reinhold, top of the key. Jordan, left side to Holland for 3. Left baseline is short. And the rebound to Jacob Nye. Over the top of the defense to Reinhold, back to Holland. Down low to Perez. Ben Perez throws up a shot. No good.
I think Ben anticipated some contact and didn't get it. The ball ended up sailing over the backboard. Good set there by the Zebras. They moved Jordan Reinhold to the point, spread the defense out a little bit in a 1-4 set, put Alec Holland down in the corner. Jacob Nye, great hustle on the offensive rebound, kept the ball alive. Zebras had a couple of good looks, just couldn't finish.
33-31 Rochester. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Down low to Gardner. His follow-away jumper in the paint is good.
That's one of those. Brett Abbott with 3 fouls. Couldn't really play defense. Just let him go.
Ben Perez gets the full court pass on the block. He's going to be fouled on the reach-in. Peru did a nice job recovering that time to stop a wide-open layup. And then Ben Perez is fouled on the reach-in. It'll be out of bounds to Rochester baseline left.
Gardner now has 19.
Jeez.
And that's the other effect of Gavin Bennett. You need 4 guards to help against the pressure, but that hurts you rebounding, and that also hurts your interior defense. Gardner went right down the middle of the paint. Nobody was there to stop him.
Holland's 15-footer, no good. The rebound saving going out of bounds to Abbott. He backs up, puts it up and in.
Good heads-up play by Brett, his first 2 of the game.
Rochester back by 2 with 35-33. 2:20 to play in the third. Johnson high on the right side. His pass tipped and stolen by Nye. Jacob Nye now gives to Reinhold through the center circle for the Zebras, going to our right. Right side to Abbott. 2:10 to play in the third quarter. Rochester by 2. Reinhold. Jordan at the free throw line. Down low to Perez. His jumper is no good, but a foul coming on Geisen, and that's going to send Ben Perez to the line to shoot 2.
Geisen, second of the game, and the first foul, second foul for the Tigers this half.
Looks like Prescott and Lester are getting ready to check back in. Ben Perez on the line for Rochester for 2. Zebras looking to push this lead to 4. The junior eyes the first one, lets it fly and buys it. Back in is Prescott, and Lester coming out is Gardner. I believe Howe came out as well.
First free throw attempts for the Zebras since Alec Holland's 2 free throws in the first quarter.
Are you sure? Valley leads Triton at halftime, 16-13.
Obviously, Valley's probably at home playing the slowdown game.
I think somebody is.
Yeah. I don't think Triton would be the way I saw him play the other night. If anybody's going to slow the game down, I would think Valley, especially if they're, I don't know where the game's at, but I could see where Valley's trying to slow the tempo.
Where's
of
that Valley? Or Valley? That Valley.
Yeah.
Minute 50 to play in the third. Rochester by 4, 37-33. Ben Perez hits both freebies. Murphy to Johnson high on the right side. Rochester still in that 2-3 zone. I'm not sure, Staves, we've seen Rochester come out of that 2-3 zone yet.
They haven't really needed to. The defense really hasn't been a problem. Now, Gardner's hit some shots, but, you know, they've done a really pretty good job of forcing tough shots and taking care of the board other than right there.
Rebounded, or the shot is missed. Rochester gets the basketball back, and then Peru with a lot of contact right in front of Coach Reinhold. Johnson loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Zebras. Peru fans not very happy. Rochester fans wiping their brow because that should have been another foul on the Zebras. I got a feeling.
There's a lot of contact all the way around in that play. I think the referee said, I don't know which foul to call, so I'm going to let it play on.
Minute 20 to play in the third. Rochester up 37-33. Jordan Reinhold gets the inbounds pass back at the Peru free throw line and crosses the timeline against Johnson. And the entry pass to Bennett, out to Nye. 3 right wing for the Zebras is good. And a foul. I believe we're going to have a foul down low, and it'll be Rochester basketball out of bounds. This could turn into a 5 or 6 point play.
Exactly what the Zebras need. Nice job, Jacob Nye.
Wait a minute. That was on Rochester? It was on Rochester. That was on Bennett.
And that's his 4th. Coach Reinhold put him in, try to get him through the end of the quarter. Not going to do. And once again, all of Gavin Bennett's fouls have been underneath on basically the same type of play, a push off, a rebound on offense and defense. That's one where he just has to know. I mean, it's a good look, and you've got 3 fouls. You've got to be overly obnoxious about not making contact and not giving the referee a chance to call a foul on you.
The 3 was good by Nye, but on the shot, Gavin Bennett commits the foul, and on the other end, Peru misses the jumper. Then Perez with the rebound, now to Abbott. 50 seconds to play in the third. Rochester by 7 at 40-33. Holland way outside left. Now to Reinhold high on the right side. Jordan Reinhold with the basketball. Works to the middle of the floor. Bounce pass out to Holland with 36. Alec against the double team to Abbott near the timeline with 30. Rochester by 7 as the third quarter coming to a close. Abbott in the paint. Loses the basketball, but he's fouled in the process. That'll be out of bounds to the Zebras with 27.9 to play in the third. Baseline right.
You know me, I like the idea of spreading the floor here late in the quarter, especially if they're going to chase you and try to trap you. Spread the floor, move the basketball. You got a 7-point lead. Your best post player's on the bench. Why be in a hurry? Move the basketball, spread them out, make it tougher to send those traps your way. And, you know, if you get a layup, great. But if not, take the last shot of the quarter.
So Gardner back in and Geisen to sit for the Tigers. Abbott baseline right will look to get it in around Gardner. Gets it into Reinhold. Jordan the right baseline. Down low to Abbott. Abbott throws up a tough shot in the lane. No good. He gets the rebound to Perez at 20. Perez outside to Holland with 17. Now to Reinhold with 15. Jordan holds against Johnson with 12. Back into the center circle with 10. Drives it left with 9. Picks up his dribble. Now to Nye with 6. Jacob Nye, 15-footer right baseline, no good. And the rebound stays from going out of bounds right to Holland. Holland, 3 on the way at the buzzer, no good. After 3, Rochester up 40-33. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI.
Tiger fans, at this time, Tiger Club football players are raising money to purchase new football helmets. They will be walking around throughout the crowd with buckets, hoping for a generous donation. Everything is greatly appreciated, so please donate generously to the Tiger Cub football program. They're trying to raise money for new football helmets. You'll see it circulating throughout the crowd right now. Here's the winning number for the game ball. Winning number for the game ball. 302-5456. That's the game ball ticket number 302-5456.
Going to the fourth and final quarter, Rochester leads 40-33 in state. Here's a thought that just came to me. I'm not sure Peru can put any more pressure on the ball than what they're putting right now. So I think Rochester's already taken their best punch.
Yeah, and in that last quarter, the Zebras had 5 different scorers. Peru only had 2 scores that quarter, and none of the 5 Zebra scorers was Alec Holland. And they were able to maintain the lead. They've won all 3 quarters. Let's finish and win this fourth quarter and get us a win. That should be a charge. Oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? They called a foul on Alec Holland for not even as much contact a few possessions ago. He was dead set. The kid ran him over, and they call Alec on a block. That's going to be his 3rd, team's 5th.
So Peru has it again. Murphy will get it in bounds. Rochester will stick it to that 2-3 zone. Gardner's in the basketball game. He's on the right block. Johnson around the defense. Outside to Lester. Around the defense to Murphy. Murphy throws it to Gardner.
If I'm the Zebras, I don't think I'm really chasing Peru outside. Other than Gardner, nobody else has shown the ability to knock down an outside shot. I'd pack that thing in except when Gardner gets it and make somebody else beat you from out there.
Murphy for 3. Nope.
He didn't even hit the rim.
Weak side rebound.
That's a 3 that didn't even hit the rim.
Now to Gardner. Outside to Murphy. Murphy left elbow. Jump stop. Float on the lane is good.
Yeah, I think you defend 15 feet in unless Gardner gets the ball and making somebody else hit the outside shot. Don't let him drive on you.
Holland loses the basketball and then tips it away. Alec Holland runs down the loose basketball. Now to Lee, who gives to Reinhold. Nice individual effort that time by Alec Holland.
Yep, he lost it but stayed in the play. That's a good hustle play, the types you need seniors to make.
Alec Holland uses every bit of his 5'9" frame to grab that one before it goes out of bounds. And now Nye has it in the right corner. Lob pass to Perez. Ben, his jumper is in and out, no good. And the rebound to Peru.
Great feed. Ben's have been close, just can't get those easy ones to finish tonight.
5-point lead for the Zebras. 6:35 to play in the game. 40-35 here at Peru High School. Murphy right in front of the Peru bench. To Lester, now to Gardner, high on the left side. Top of the key to Prescott. Now to Murphy. Murphy around the defense. Gardner, top of the key. No look pass to Murphy. Down the corner to Lester. His shot blocked out of bounds by Reinhold. And now we're going to have a foul on Jordan Reinhold.
Nope. Just going to call it out of bounds. Yeah, okay. You're right. I thought he looked, but no foul call. Good block by Jordan. Zebras get to reset their defense.
The baseline left is Johnson. He'll look to trigger it in for the Tigers. 6:17 to play in the basketball game. Rochester by 5 at 40-35. Murphy high on the right side to Lester. One dribble, top of the key to Gardner, who's had a fantastic basketball game tonight here for the Tigers. Prescott to Gardner. Three on the way is short. Rebound to Ben Perez, who got fouled in the act. Yep. He grabbed the board anyway, now gives it to Highland. How many does Gardner have? 19?
Gardner's got 19.
Lee in the paint. Dribbles outside the lane. Got to get rid of it. Now down to Holland, high on the right side. Alec with the basketball against the man-to-man defense. One dribble. Now to Reinhold. Cross court to Nye. Down low to Perez. His jumper's good.
Great job by Jacob Nye. I'll tell you what, Jacob Nye has given them some big minutes with Bennett on the bench with fouls. Him and Brett Abbott have done a really good job rotating in that fifth spot for Bennett. Johnson in the lane. His shot's good and a foul. And Ben Perez is going to pick up a foul. He's going to send Jeremiah Johnson to the line to shoot two. You know, Johnson hasn't shown, he's hit one shot, but he's not been a real consistent finisher. I think you let him go and see if he can make it. I think by Ben fouling him, he softened the shot a little bit enough for it to go in. I think if Ben lets him go, he probably misses that shot, but the foul allows him to make it, and he's going to get an and one attempt. Meanwhile, Ben has his second foul. Jeremiah Johnson, the southpaw, shoots the free throw, and it is good. And Peru shooting free throws the rest of the way. 42-38, full court press by the Tigers. Lee over the top to Reinhold. Rochester now with the numbers. Reinhold in the paint, down low to Perez. Way up is good. Attack pressure under control. Yeah, got the ball, and Jordan Reinhold basically a point guard with who you want. Ben on the block finishing. Nice job. Zebras by 6. Murphy, left elbow, outside to Gardner. Back to Murphy, top of the key. Murphy then is fouled by Jacob Nye, and that's going to send Murphy to the line to shoot one in the bonus. Yeah, I just don't get that. They're not; those guys aren't beating you from out there. The clock's ticking, the clock's running. Don't foul them and bail them out. You're sending them to the free throw line every time you foul. I mean, that's 22 feet away from the basket. You don't need a steal. All they're doing is passing around the perimeter. If they want to run 1 minute of offense, let them. You've got a 6-point lead with 5 minutes to go. That's where I think you have to understand the game, and you got to grow up a little bit and understand the time and score. Not that you're going to delay or anything, but there's 22 feet from the basket. A kid hasn't hit a shot out there other than Gardner. Let them go and let them dribble it out there. Murphy hits the first one and the second one, and Rochester's leads down to 4. Full court press by the Tigers. Reinhold bounce pass into Nye. Gives back to Reinhold. Ahead to Deshaun. Rochester the numbers again. Cross lane pass to Lee. Loses the handle. Out to Nye. To Reinhold. Left wing 3. Stealing out, no good. Deshaun to the rebound. He's fouled by Prescott. Nice job by Zach Deshaun. He was spotting out on the three-point line. Man, that's a good look. But he came in. Yeah, good look by Jordan. But Deshaun came in just enough, got the rebound, and drew a foul. Only the 4th team foul for Peru, so the Zebras are a few fouls away from shooting free throws, but they do maintain possession, and that's important. 4:53 to play in the game. Rochester up 44-40. They've been tied twice. Jacob Nye just inside the arc. Long jumper's no good. And the rebound to Murphy. Peru runs. Murphy outside to Johnson. Left block. Hesitates. Goes to the basket. Goes up and shoots in 2. Wow. Yep. He looked like he was going to go backwards towards the three-point line and accelerated. Went right around Reinhold to 2. Ben Perez, jumper no good, but Prescott's going to pick up the foul. Ben Perez will go back in the lane to shoot 2. And that's a big foul, too, because that's Prescott, the big man for Peru. That's his 4th foul. Stace, here's what I don't understand. Rochester breaking this press pretty easily. And Peru's sticking with it. And when they get the ball to a guard, it's usually a 3-on-2 break. Yeah, Peru slow in the rotations. The Zebras is doing an excellent job on their press break. It's not bothered them. And Coach Reinhold's going to roll the dice a little bit here, put Gavin Bennett in with 4 fouls as Ben makes that first free throw. Ben has 13 points. Make it 14 as he hits both. And he's 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 46-42 Rochester. 4:25 to play in the game. Johnson on the right wing. Around the defense. Pass is tipped away and stolen by Reinhold. Jordan now with the basketball. Trots it across the timeline. Gives to Holland high outside. Right side to Deshaun. 3 right baseline for the Zebras is short.
And the rebound to Johnson, and Zach Deshawn just picked up a frustration foul. And Ben Perez is down. He's down, getting up slowly.
Yeah, that's one. Same thing there.
He's holding his gut, but
understanding time and score. You know, you want to follow your shot, which Zach did, but you weren't going to get that rebound, and all you did was put yourself in a situation where you fouled, number one, and number two, you're giving Peru a chance to score with the clock stop.
Yeah. 4:10 to play in the game. Rochester by 4. Jeremiah Johnson at the line to shoot one of the bonus for the Tigers. First one on the way is good.
I mean, this is that double-edged sword because these Zebras, they're fighting tonight. Everybody's making that extra play. There's no doubt about it. Everybody that stepped on the floor for the Zebras tonight has really brought the intensity, and they're trying to make as many hustle plays as they can, but you have to balance that. The hustle plays have to be balanced with smart plays, which understanding, hey, I'm not going to get the rebound. I'm going to let that guy go and not put him to the free throw line.
Johnson hits both. Rochester's lead down to 2. Deshawn over the top of the defense to Bennett. Back to Deshawn. Now to Reinhold, quickly to Hollow, left baseline. Under 4 to play in the game. Rochester up 46-44. This game has been tied twice. The rest of the time, Rochester's led. Reinhold, left wing, down low to Perez. Ben, outside of Reinhold, 3, left wing for the Zebras. Air ball, out of bounds. Peru going to get it back.
Unfortunately, the referee was watching the ball go out of bounds. He's been watching underneath a lot when Bennett's been down there. Bennett got held, but the referee's watching the ball go out of bounds. Didn't see Gavin get held and then not be able to go for the rebound. Peru will maintain possession, or will regain possession. They're a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line this quarter.
Congratulations to John Burris' Southwood Knights. They finished the conference 9-0. They defeat Northfield tonight 62-45. Oak Hill defeats Elwood 67-33. Oak Hill, Southwood, Manchester, Northfield, Wabash, Rochester in the sectional, loaded sectional. Prescott from 5 feet, it's good, and we're tied at 46.
That's his first 2 points of the game.
3:10 to play in the basketball game. We're tied, and then a kick by Murphy. Rochester and Peru have been tied at 22-31 and now 46.
You know, I have a second, too. You talk about, thinking of John Burris, good guys in the game. I want to wish the best of luck to Gary Teal and the Argus Lady Dragons from around semi-state. Gary Teal is one of the best guys flat out in the coaching profession. Really happy for him and the Lady Dragons. Wish them best of luck as they try to make it to Indy tomorrow.
Congratulations to a couple of Lady Zebras, first teamers.
Yeah, Alexa Howland, Becky Malco, first team, and Allie Larkin, honorable mention.
Reinhold, the basket hard, throws up a tough shot, it goes in, and Rochester back up 48-46.
That's clutch. I think Jordan gained a lot of confidence hitting that shot at the end of the Wabash game, and that's a big-time shot right there.
Johnson throws up a tough shot. Prescott the follow is good, and we're tied at 48.
Nobody got a body on him. They forced a tough shot, and you got to get a body on 45. He's the guy that's done the damage inside for Peru on the boards all night. He's really the only one for Peru who's hitting the board. Zebra's got to make an extra effort to get a body on 45.
2:39 to play in the basketball game. Rochester and Peru tied at 48. Peru in a token man-to-man press. Reinhold walks it up the floor through the center circle. He works against Gardner for the Peru Tigers. Now to Bennett, now to Lee in the right wing. Lee behind the arc, one dribble to his left, baseline to Holland. Alex turnaround three-pointer on the way is good!
Huge shot for the senior. Nice job. Way to step up and knock that shot down. Big three-point lead for the Zebras.
51-48 Rochester, 2:10 to play in the game. Gardner, his three to tie. It's good!
One clutch shot deserves another.
And then a steal. Gardner, layup is good. Peru up for the first time tonight, 53-51. Bennett to Lee. Lee across the timeline to Reinhold. 1:50 to play in the game. Peru up 53-51. Bennett, right wing behind the arc to Reinhold. Jordan, 15-footers right side, no good. Alec Holland to the rebound. Gives out to Lee with 1:39 to play.
Zebras have 3 timeouts left. Peru has all 5.
Holland for 3, no good. Weak side rebound for Peru. Murphy has it with 90 seconds, up by 2. Murphy through the center circle. Rochester still in that 2-3 zone. And now the Tigers will use a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. 1 minute, 23 seconds to play in regulation. Peru has their first lead of the night at 53-51. And after the Peru timeout, I believe the Tigers will have the basketball baseline left. Nope, right in front of the scorer's table. Tony Stasiak, I'm David Musselman. We've seen a really good game.
Yep, Zebras have played well. Just have had the lead until here these last few seconds. The Zebras are in more of a 1-2-2 trap right now a little bit. They got to play good defense. Don't have to start fouling, but you may want to gamble a little bit. See if you can step in the passing lane. If it gets under a minute, then I think you got to foul. Hopefully they've talked about who they want to foul and who they want to stay away from fouling.
Minute 5 to play. Prescott over the top to Lester. In the center circle to Murphy. High on the right side to Johnson.
Don't foul Johnson. He's 3 for 3 from the line this quarter.
Well, the only one we haven't seen shoot is Prescott. Murphy with 50 seconds. High on the right side to Johnson with 48. Over the top to Murphy with 47. Murphy holds in the center circle with 43. Now to Lester on the left wing. Now in the corner to Gardner. Over back to Lester with 38. Lester against the double teams. Push out of bounds. We're going to have a foul on Reinhold. And that's going to send Lester to the line to shoot 2 for the Tigers with 35.5 to play in the game.
Lester's been to the line one time. He got an and one. He'll be the line now. He hasn't scored since the second quarter. He's got all 6 of his points in the second quarter, so this is a tough spot for him. Zebras had the trap. Jordan just kind of hip-checked him out of bounds a little bit.
Peru leads 53-51. And Jenna Lester at the line to shoot 2. First one is off the mark, no good.
That's what I say, good foul there. He has not seen the ball go through the hoop since the second quarter. And shooting free throws with 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter is a little different than shooting free throws with 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Rochester will use a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI.
The game now, 2. Help space the floor.
35.5 seconds to play in the game. Peru by 2. On the floor for the Zebras. Bennett, Perez, Reinhold, Deshawn, and Holland.
You got 3 3-point shooters in case you need it, and your 2 big post players. So you've got options on the floor. Whether if he misses this one, obviously you can go for whatever you want. Even if he makes, you still have time for a quick 2 and keep extending the game.
Timeout safe.
Zebras have 2 left. Peru has 4.
He made the second one, did Lester. Inbounds pass to Reinhold, now to Deshawn. Zach Deshawn across the timeline with 30. Works on the right wing. Rochester down by 3 as this game coming to an end. Reinhold.
Face guard Alec Holland, no surprise there.
Then Perez to Bennett with 20. Gavin Bennett against Prescott. His jumper in the paint is no good. Rebound to Prescott with 15. 13. Zach Deshawn then fouls Murphy with 12 seconds to play with the Tigers leading by 3.
Yeah, I don't think the Zebras had time to be a little bit more patient. I don't think, that's a fade away from about 12 feet from Gavin Bennett right on. Probably not the ideal shot. I mean, they were guarding Alec Holland pretty tight, but, I think there were some options. You could have maybe kicked the ball back out and run some offense.
So Murphy has 2. You talked about the draw on Sunday. He makes the first one. Now it's 55-51. I forgot to mention Lewis Cass in that sectional, too. Good heavens.
Yeah.
And Pioneer comes back and defeats the Winamac 61-60. Second one by Murphy is good again.
What's that do for we'll talk about that later. But Zebras now, same thing. You're down 5. You got to get a quick bucket and use the timeout.
Perez, jumper off the glass is good. Timeout, Rochester. 6 seconds to play in the game. Rochester down by 3. It's the 60-second timeout. We'll take a 30. You're listening to Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. seconds to play in the fourth quarter. In the basketball game, the Peru Tigers lead 56-53. And Rochester uses a 60-second timeout. It'll be Peru basketball underneath the Rochester basket. They'll need to go the length of the floor. More than likely stays against the press.
Yep, I would expect to see Rochester heavy pressure man-to-man. Not sure if you're going to guard the ball out of bounds or not, but you're going to try to get a turnover off the inbounds. Then if you do not get the steal, you got to foul right away and hope that Peru's shooting 2 on every foul. Hope that they miss them both, but you'd obviously like to try to get the turnover quickly, maybe switch those screens. And they are guarding the inbounder.
And the inbounder is Gardner. He'll look to get it in. Baseball pass to a wide open Murphy. Murphy then will pull it out with 3, with 2. He runs away from the defense and finally fouled by Deshaun with 1.6. What a great inbound play thrown up by Jim Metcalf.
Yep.
Gardner throws it the length of the floor and hits Murphy in stride. And instead of shooting the layup, he just ran away from the basket and ran away from the Zebra defenders.
Yeah, it's where, you screen across and you get the defense going towards the ball, and then the screener just leaks out deep. Not a lot of communication. They both jumped for the person who was getting the screen and left the screener Murphy wide open deep. As he makes one, which makes it a 4-point spread, which about puts this one out of reach, unfortunately. Zebras have done everything well tonight except finish in the last couple minutes. Everything else is right there for them.
1.6 to play in the game. Rochester now down by 4. Murphy's second free throw, no good. Gets his own rebound. And that'll do it. The buzzer sounded. For whatever reason, everybody stopped except for the clock. And that'll do it. Rochester defeats Peru. Peru defeats Rochester tonight at Peru High School by the final of 57-53. You're listening to Zebra Basketball on 92.1 WROI.